Welcome to Between the Shelves, the premier Save-A Library podcast. I am your host, Alex, and on this week's episode, we are talking humor and comedy, because April is National Humor Month. So what better guest to have on than the silly people we have down in Teen Central every day. Marianne, head of Teen Services, and
Hi,
Melissa.
Alex. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for welcoming me, actually.
My pleasure.
That was silly.
Like last episode you were on was the 90s hip-hop episode, which was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun, yes.
But we're changing gears drastically, and we're talking humor.
Yes.
So I know humor is kind of like a hard thing to peg down. At least it was for me. Like when I started doing research for this episode, I was going through our catalog and searching humor and comedy and seeing what was coming up. And the only things that were coming up for me were like rom-coms, which is a genre of books I do not read. I know we just did a Valentine's Day episode a little while back that covered that genre entirely, but it's something I'm not super familiar with. So I know humor is like very subjective. Mm-hmm. So I guess just my opening question to everyone is like, what do you think of when you think of humor books? Like when I invited you on this podcast, what did you think? What was like the first thing that came to mind?
I also had a hard time. Like looking back, I was like, I don't read a lot of humor books. I read a lot of heavy stuff. I read a lot of depressing literary fiction. Not a lot of humor in that. But then when I started going through my Goodreads, I was like, wait, you know what? I actually do listen to a lot of comedy books. And it's mostly memoirs of like famous comedians. And that's where all my humor was, since it is so subjective. I'm not a rom-com person, so...
Yeah, I think we have very similar reading tastes. Like we read like the literary fiction stuff a lot, like the best-selling kind of stuff that's out there. And yeah, a lot of it's very, very heavy. Yeah. But like you, a lot of the comedy books that I was reading were memoirs. Mm-hmm. Like I have a few of them that come to mind are like Tina Fey's Bossy Pants.
That's one I wrote down for today. One of the best ones.
Best.
Yep.
Yeah, I've never read that one, but it's been recommended.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
So good, yeah.
Read it, then listen to it, because it's just as funny.
Yeah. You have to... you have to listen to when it's a memoir of a comedian. Like, I think you have to listen to it when they read it.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one is Colin Jost's.
I wrote that one down.
Another fantastic one.
Yes, oh my God, I just listened to it. He's so funny.
If a comedian that I like writes a book, I am automatically reserving it on Libby, the audiobook, and I got to listen to it.
Absolutely.
And because a lot of cases it's better than stand-up because it's dragged out, it's a little bit slower paced.
And you don't hear the people laughing and
exactly.
Like,
No one's telling you when to laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
Just laugh at your own will.
What about you, Melissa? What came to mind when I invited you on the humor podcast?
I, like Marianne, also had to do a little bit of research because I don't also read a lot of humor. Funnily enough, in my other job, I did put together for March. I did put together a humor display, and it is all mostly memoirs, comedians, a little bit of humor fiction, but I don't always delve into that. But one of the funny ones that always stuck with me is, excuse my language, Shit My Dad Says by Justin Halpern. I don't know if you've ever read it. It
sounds so very familiar.
Was a brief TV show. I think it was adapted for television.
I think I remember
as a sitcom. It didn't last. But I think it was because I was putting together the display, pulled the book off, and the title made me laugh out loud. So I picked it up, and I laughed every page in that book, and that's rare because I don't pick them up like that, you know? And then for fiction, when I kind of looked back on my Goodreads list, the last book that made me laugh out loud fiction-wise was A Man Called Uva by Frederick Bachman.
Mm-hmm. I think you talked about that on the What Are You Into after the 90s episode, yeah.
And it just always sticks with me because I laughed out loud, barked, cackled, hollered. I listened to it in my car.
Yeah.
On the way to work, and it's a very touching, heartwarming story. It also made me cry a little bit, but the laughs just took over.
Yeah.
For the subject matter of this elderly curmudgeon. And
it's so funny you mentioned that book because not 10 minutes ago when I was on desk, somebody requested that book and I just pulled it off the shelf for them.
I will recommend it a million times.
That book is hardly ever on the shelf.
Oh,
so.
I know. Yeah. It's that good. The writing is excellent. The audio version is wonderful. That made me laugh out loud multiple times.
Nice. Yeah, with fiction, I found I did the same thing you said. I don't have Goodreads. I use a different app, but I was going back through my reading history, and I'm like, are there any comedic like fiction novels I've read? And there really was nothing coming up. But what I did notice is like, or I realized is the authors that I enjoy the most, they don't write quote unquote comedy books or humor books, but their sense of humor comes through on the page.
Yes.
Whether it's their characters, the situations that they're put their characters in, or just their observations of everyday life. You know, it kind of comes through on the page. So I'm wondering, is that kind of where you fell too? Like,
well, yes, I have one in particular that I brought up who is my favorite, like memoirist, humorist, and it might be one that you're thinking of also. And since we seem to be on the same page right now with a lot of
I'm
the
looking
stuff
at the
that
bullet
we've
point
read.
that I think you're going to mention.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily like a comedy book, but when he's reading it, I just laugh all the time. I don't know if I should say who it is.
Go ahead.
David Sedaris.
Yep.
Is that who you have up?
Yep. That's the next person I was going to mention.
Yeah, he's my favorite. I've read every single one of his books. I've read to most of them, and then I started listening to him recently, like his more recent ones. Last week, I listened to Naked, which I'm pretty sure I read a long time ago. I just didn't have it. I think it was pre-Goodreads, so I didn't have it marked down. But it was one of his early ones, so I felt like he didn't have his groove yet.
Yeah.
Just from like knowing so much of his later stuff, but I still found myself laughing.
Yeah, I think I haven't read any of his stuff in a while because I read his early books when they came out, like Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls,
Okay.
Naked. What's the one with the skeleton, the skull head?
There's Dress Your
Me
Family
Talk
and
Pretty
Corduroy
One
and
Day.
Roy Me Talk Pretty.
All of them are great.
There's so many. The most recent one, I forgot what it was called. Was it Calypso? Or there was another one that was...
Calypso is
Happy Go
definitely one of
Lucky.
them.
I think it was called Happy Go Lucky. That might have been his most recent one. So good. So good. I listened to that one. I have a signed copy.
I know he has such an extensive
from
collection, and that's one
So
that
good.
I've never read, and I almost feel like,
Audio, you got for
I
him,
gotta listen to it,
100%
right?
in the car. Yeah.
okay, all right.
They're not long, and they're all bite-sized essays too. So
Yeah.
if one's not grabbing you, just skip to the next one, and
Okay.
you'll find something there.
I'll add
Yeah.
it to the never-ending list.
Yeah.
Have either of you read anything by Bill Bryson? He's sort of like an English version of Sedaris, I guess.
Didn't he do like an outside
He's
adventure
outdoor
one?
adventure
Outdoorsy?
type.
Yeah, he's
Right,
more of like a
right?
travel writer, but
But with
it's
a comedy
something about
slant.
yeah, very comedic
Okay.
British humor.
I can see some of the covers, but I've never read him before.
Same.
Well,
Yeah.
Walk in the Woods
Yeah.
is his biggest one, and all the ones are escaping me right now. But he's very, very funny too.
I don't think I ever thought of him as being
Me
like
neither.
humor.
Yeah, it's that dry British
I
humor.
never-
It's not slapsticky, but it's it's just about his observations, and he's Brit. He goes back. His book he alternate between in America and Britain, so like it's funny when he's in America. It's like an outsider's perspective on just
Okay.
weird American mannerisms and everything, and then when he's in
listen to
England,
him.
he's very self-deprecating and.
Oh, I
You
do
know.
love self-deprecating. Yeah.
So
me too.
he's definitely worth checking out. Some other nonfiction ones while we're here. This one's kind of like an in-between. Norm Macdonald, the comedian who passed away
yeah,
recently,
yeah.
he wrote a book called Based on a True Story that it's funny. It's like set up to be a memoir, and it's in the format of a memoir, but he fictionalizes his own story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say about like 80% of it is true, but then he'll just go on he'll just lie, just make up like flights of fancy.
Uh-huh.
So I've seen this book categorized in like the biography section. I've seen it in the fiction section. I've seen it in like the 800s with like literary criticism. Like it's like a really hard book to peg down, but it's very, very funny if you like Norm Macdonald's
Yeah,
humor.
he's
where
really
he'll just
funny.
take you on a long walk for like just a silly joke at the end. But yeah, very, very dry, but really, really funny. It's like great on audiobook too.
Well, he's really funny, and I know you listen to Conan O'Brien. I'm pretty sure Conan O'Brien interviewed for Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Yeah.
Right, that's the name
Yep.
of it. He did Norm Macdonald a long time ago, and that was one of the funniest episodes.
Yeah. Well, they've known each other for
Yeah.
a quarter of a century
Yeah.
probably, and they have very good repertoire. And Yeah, Norm Macdonald is hilarious
So
in an
funny.
interview scenario because you never know what he's going to say.
Right, and he's so quick, and yeah, his dry humor is he's just really funny.
Yeah.
But how you were just saying how he makes up a lot of stuff, I was listening to something with Adam Sandler. I think it was Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend recently, right? He
Yeah.
talked to Adam Sandler, and Adam Sandler said that a lot of the stuff that he would do during his stand-up, he made up. Right? Was that him? Does that sound familiar to you? Maybe it was another comedian.
It doesn't
now.
sound like Adam
Confusing it?
Sandler's style.
Then I wonder who it was that I was. Oh, maybe it was Mike Birbiglia.
Birbiglia?
Birbiglia. He just did one. Maybe it was him. It was one of the comedians, and they were saying that whenever the family's there, they look around and they're like, "What is he talking about? Like that never happened to us growing up."
Yeah.
And he just makes stuff up. Yeah. Now I don't I have to listen to all of them again to remember who it was. I listen to it when I go to sleep, so I don't remember. Yeah.
It could have been like Jim Gaffigan too. That seems like it could have been something.
I don't think it was. I haven't listened to anything recently.
Who also
with
has a
Jim
lot of
Gaffigan.
books,
Yes,
by the way.
I
His
named
books.
some of his.
We're all on the same page here.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, Jim Gaffigan has maybe 4 books now or more, and they're all, if you like his stand-up, a lot of his stand-up shows up again in the book, so it's a lot of like rehashing, but he also, he drags out all the jokes to like full chapters, so you just get more of the Jim Gaffigan.
I've seen him in person. He's hilarious. Like,
oh yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, he's great, and he's clean. He's got clean humor, which is a nice change. But he his the food one that he wrote. What is it? Dad is it Dad is Fat?
I think it's Food a Love Story.
Food a Love Story. Yeah, that one. That one is really good because I mean I love food too. So him like talking about it he's really hilarious. And anything where he talks about like his family and his kids and how they live in. Well, I think they have a different house, a different home now, but how they he had all these kids and his
life is set up for comedy. Anybody who has kids know it's just like your life
and
is.
And then you got 5 of them,
is
and
a
like
sitcom,
a one-bedroom house, one-bedroom apartment in the city, and he's great.
Terrifying.
Terrifying / hilarious.
I don't really do a lot of stand-up stuff or comedies, but the comedian Atsuko Akatsuka has an HBO special called The Intruder, and I just laughed hysterically throughout the whole thing because she's just telling the story of it's her and her husband and her Japanese mother that also lives with her in the house, and she just goes off on tangents, and I wish I even knew what some of the jokes were. I can't even tell you, but I cried laughing.
What is her name again?
Atsuko, Atsuko. Atsuko Akatsuka.
The Intruder. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm adding it to my watch list right now.
Oh, it's so funny.
Great style.
Yeah,
Love her
she is
outfit.
super stylish. She is very bright and funny, and she always does like these funny clips on Instagram with her mom and her husband, and her mom gets in on the jokes, and they do all these little viral videos. But her stand-up special was something I'll never forget. I'm kind of waiting around for the next one now,
Nice.
She's very fresh and new. I think she was named like one of the top 10 comics to watch in 2022, 2023. And I feel like I've been seeing her a little more. So who knows? Maybe we'll see her more on the mainstream.
Nice.
She's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I used to be really into stand-up in like high school and even going into college a little bit. And then I think all the people that I liked kind of just aged out or something.
It happens.
Or died in some
Oh,
cases.
gosh.
And,
Oh, no.
And I think I just kind of transitioned at that point to podcasts. Like all of my that sort of humor that I look for is now just in podcasts, like improv comedy. I kind of just transitioned over to improv comedy, which is like my primary source of comedy these days.
It's interesting that you say that though, because I like stand up, but all the comedians that I like, they're all like older or they have since passed on. A lot of like the old Saturday Night Live comedians that from the 80s and 90s, like I still love them. A lot of the really funny ones have passed on.
Yeah.
But I don't really know a lot of the young comedians out there now. And if they come across my social media feeds, I might listen to like a line or two and then I'm just like, nah, and then I just scroll past them.
Yeah, same. So I wanted to talk about that. That's a good transition. So I had a question here about your sense of humor, do you think it's changed from when you were younger? I mean, not like when you were a kid, obviously. It's changed, but maybe like high school until now, do you think your sense of humor has changed? Like what you found, the stuff you were looking for humor then to now?
Yeah, I think about maybe what I used to watch also. Years ago, I used to be big into Family Guy. Family Guy's been on the air for so long. It's almost like a Simpsons, right? It's on forever.
Yeah.
Every generation knows it.
The Simpsons.
But
It's still going.
I know, it's still going on. But and Family Guy, new seasons are still being aired. I used to be big into that and would watch all of the Family Guy reruns, and I would laugh my butt off. But now, not so much. It doesn't affect me the same way. I kind of go, oh no. And maybe I'm like, they're allowed to say that? So it's funny how your brain evolves along with your sense of humor, what you find funny, what you find cringy.
Yeah.
As time changes, And then I grew up in a time where I feel like there wasn't a lot of restriction on comedy, on what you can say, on what jokes were politically correct and what was allowed. And now you really have to be careful with everything you say and who's sensitive and who's going to be offended. So I think comedy is really hard, especially for the stand-up people.
Sure.
You got to be careful what you say. Who's in your audience? One bad review or something can really tank you.
And the other thing with stand-up, just speaking on stand-up for a second, is like a lot of the stand-up now is just like preaching to the choir. Like they're just like saying what they think, and they're getting applause based on like people are agreeing with what they're saying. It's like this isn't even comedy. This is like bordering on politics. Like
yeah,
and that's something I also don't love to hear in my comedy. But if that's what's in the news and that's what's hot right now, then they're gonna speak on what's popular and what's getting the attention, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess that's what maybe sometimes puts me off from stand up. I don't want to hear certain things. I kind of want to escape. So I guess that's where fiction comes in. Totally. Fiction in a good way, because now I'm escaping, rather than going, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And being reminded about things.
Yeah, I going back to what you were saying before, like about the Family Guy and everything and cringiness, and I think back to like some of the things, like a lot of what I liked in high school I still like today. Like I still have the same friends I had in high school, so we all have the same sense of humor. It hasn't changed that much. But like South Park was another one that came to mind. Like I loved South Park in like middle school and high school, and then something switched where I'm like, I don't want to use the word mature because humor is again subjective and everything, but now I couldn't even. You couldn't force me to watch Family Guy or South Park now.
I'm just like, what are we watching? But I am still very much a child in other ways, I can be immature in other ways, but I guess it depends on the subject matter. So I am very much a child and I laugh at the most ridiculous things. Mm-hmm. So you're right, humor is so subjective.
Yeah, and movies too. Like I would watch every comedy movie that came out when I was younger, and now maybe I see one a year, and I see everything. Like anybody who knows me sees I see everything, and it's not like my standards are like supremely high. It's just none of them. Just humor's hard. It's hard to do.
Same with actors like Will Ferrell. Mm-hmm. I loved like old school,
That's a perfect example.
That genre of comedy, right, with Vince Vaughn and then it's almost like I couldn't stand it after a while.
Yeah, Will Ferrell was like used to be like a stamp on a movie, like this is a quality seal of approval. Yeah. And now, like Barbie, the most recent movie that he was in, he was by far the worst part of that movie. Like,
he had such a small part anyway, right?
It should have been smaller or eliminated, recast him entirely. Like he honestly ruined that movie for me, like to a large degree.
I didn't really.
It's so funny.
I didn't really think of it. I just was like, I don't know, he's just like this huge actor from, who would have gotten all these big gigs.
But it became a Will Ferrell movie. Like, it turned into like semi-pro or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, semi-pro. Listen.
I never saw that.
Stupid movie will make me laugh. I think that was the last
great Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's one that if it does happen to pop up on television, I'm probably going to leave it on. Yeah. It's that stupid, but it always makes me laugh.
Oh, my God. That honestly was, I think, the last great Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, you must.
The scene at the poker table where the jive turkey comes. I will watch it on YouTube just like today and laugh.
I will when he's just running around screaming and the bear is in the. Isn't there the bear?
Maybe
in the
we haven't
ring,
changed
and
as much as we
they're
thought.
trying to raise money, and then he's like, "Oh, if we raise money, we give away free hot dogs." There's no free hot dog. It's just the silliest stuff, and it really makes me cry.
So I was gonna say, like, because I don't think my humor has changed much at all, and I think that an example, because I didn't know you, Melissa, when you were younger, but I would venture to say that maybe your humor hasn't changed all that much either, because one of the things Melissa and I have been doing on Instagram is sending each other clips of Airplane and Naked Gun, because growing up, those were my favorite movies. Yeah. Leslie Nielsen was like.
If there was a Naked Gun movie or Leslie Nielsen, I needed to watch it. And I was young. I probably didn't even
totally
get half the jokes.
Everything probably went over my head, but I watched it over and over as I grew up, and then I understood
you start to understand the jokes as you get older.
But I'm still laughing when I see these clips. I'm still laughing. I think they are still so funny, and there's so much inappropriate stuff.
They are, because
still
they're
timeless comedy.
They're what like Conan would call like evergreen jokes. Like they're not based on like what's in the news right there. They're just like just jokes that are always funny across age groups. Like I remember renting those movies from Blockbuster. I was probably far too young because my parents let me rent whatever I wanted.
100%.
Like you said, maybe 60% of them would go over my head, but then I just keep renting it every year and get like 5% more of the jokes.
And I guess that also goes with the same humor as like the Police Academy movies. I loved those growing up. I could watch it over and over.
Not allowed to.
And there was a lot of jokes in Police Academy that were inappropriate.
Oh, totally.
But I'm young, I'm on the couch, hee hee. My parents are laughing, I'm laughing. And then you get older and I'm like, oh.
I can't believe they let me.
That's what that meant. And then it's just more funny now because I'm like, oh dear. So yeah, Police Academy I feel like is in there with the Naked Gun and Airplane and all those 80s movies or early 90s because I feel like Naked Gun was very early 90s.
The early 90s. But just like that dry those humor that he has where it's
one-liners where
it's the frequency of jokes too that defines those movies. You can like joke every 30 seconds.
And his expression, he hits it every time.
Yeah.
Was perfect. He was made for those roles.
Yes. Please keep sending me those clips.
Yes. I will. I keep clicking on them to make sure it like stays on my feed.
Yes, me too.
You know?
They always make me laugh.
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen is hilarious.
So funny. But talking about like renting when we were younger, it's so funny because I remember going to, it wasn't a Blockbuster, it was right across the street from my house. So we could walk there. And I would go with my older sister.
Video store.
Yeah, and we would rent when my parents would go out to dinner for the night, we would go rent Eddie Murphy Raw. And his other one, Delirious, was it? Yeah. So inappropriate.
Talk about good style.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Also, but so funny. He was, but I mean now it would probably be very, if I listen, I think if I listened to it now, I wouldn't find it funny. But back then, it was funny.
There was one, I always felt like I was that, I grew up with HBO as a kid, so it was always on, and there was always stuff I probably shouldn't be watching. And I always remember one stand-up comedian name was Bob Nelson, and he had the show was called Nelson Schmelson.
I never heard of that.
And same, the jokes probably wouldn't go over as well today, but when I tell you my little self was cracking up at these jokes. Yeah. Nelson Schmelson. I actually should write that down because I want to rewatch that now.
Revisit it.
He was a New Yorker.
Look at that. But it's funny because, I used to watch the Eddie Murphy ones and laugh, and my brother and sister and I would repeat the jokes to each other and laugh, and we thought it was the best.
Yeah.
But I think now watching it, I'd be like, oh, that's not funny. So I think...
Or you'd be laughing on your hands.
For some things, like your sense of humor does change, I guess.
Yeah, there was some definitely.
Yeah. You definitely punching down is like totally frowned upon these days, and there's probably a lot of that back in like the 80s, and before obviously.
Yeah.
Like someone like Don Rickles probably would never. Survive today.
Yeah.
But just last thing I want to say about HBO. I don't know. I didn't have HBO growing up, but I somehow saw every single George Carlin special. Like my parents are big comedy advocates, fans, everything. So I got to see anything I wanted. And I was a big George Carlin fan. and they actually took me to see him.
Oh my God.
In the Cape Cod Melody Tent in Connecticut.
Oh my
I saw
gosh.
him in a round theater, and it was the best thing I'd ever seen.
Wow.
Like, it was amazing. And he died a few years later, but I'm shocked I got to see him.
experience.
I got to see him before he passed, and it was
Gosh.
he had it. Like, it was an amazing show. Like, everything was rehearsed to a T. It's just amazing. He did like the 7 words you can't say on TV bit, and me, I'm like in middle school at the time, like giggling. I was by far the youngest person in
Reddest
the
cheeks
audience.
probably in the
Yeah.
audience.
But
Everyone's probably like, oh no.
Who brought their kid? Yeah.
I was way in the back. No one could tell.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that was
Yeah,
amazing.
he's a rare breed of comedian.
Sure. And there was a great documentary that just came out about George Carlin on HBO that everyone should check out. I forget the name of it, but it can't be that hard to find.
Yeah.
So, are there any other like shows or movies that you wanted to mention before we go to our little exercise that I had planned?
Yeah. So I always like to joke that I always watch shows years after they come out. I'm like, oh, have you seen the show? It's so cool. It's like, yeah.
The Office? Yeah.
But anyway, I had came across the show Younger, which was starring Sutton Foster, and it was actually really popular a bunch of years ago. It was on TV Land, and it's she is a divorced 40-year-old mother from New Jersey. She used to work in publishing, and she's trying to get back into work, but she can't find work. She feels like there's a lot of ageism out there, so she can't find work in the field that she was in. So after being hit on by a younger guy in a bar in Brooklyn, her best friend says, you should just lie on your resume. So she fibs and says she's 26 to get a job back in publishing, and just all the mishaps that happen. It's hilarious. She's out of the game for 20 years. She ends up back in the publishing world. She has to pretend that she's 26 and learn what a meme is and learn what phrases the kids say and dressing like a 26-year-old, which she was a child of the 80s and 90s.
It's a great premise for a comedy.
Yeah, so it really does. The jokes all hit, and I guess me in my 40s seeing this, it's like you get it.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying it. I think there's 7 seasons. I'm currently on season 4. They're all out on Hulu. And that's kind of been I laugh out loud every episode.
Yeah. I know my wife is a big fan of this show. And I love Sutton Foster, so maybe I gotta finally give it a go.
And I feel like I never knew who she was, but she's big in the Broadway scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know that. And I just feel like now I'm discovering her and I'm looking around. Like, where can I watch more of Sutton Foster?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to have to go see
She's
her.
in Sweeney Todd right
Yes!
now, but it closes in May.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah.
And that's the
Still
show you
time
just
to go.
recently saw with,
Yes.
what's his name from Heartstopper?
Yes, with Joe Locke. But I went, and Sutton Foster wasn't in it yet. I saw it was like the in-between people when they went out with like Josh Groban and then the new one, Aaron. I can't think of his name. And sorry, Stephanie and Tori, if you're listening. They just went to see it last week. And Sutton Foster. So I saw it when the understudies were on.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
but
so
they
now-
went particularly because it was Sutton Foster.
Mm-hmm. And that makes
And
me
the
like,
He's a
other
treasure.
guy.
that's what it says. Like, I'm very much out of the game and out of the loop when it comes to those things. I'm
So-
not big onto like shows and stuff, so I don't know these actors. And I'm like, who is she? And
She
how can I
starred
find
in
more of
a
her?
musical called Anything Goes.
Okay.
And it just got released on DVD. So it was one of those rare things where, like, a Broadway show, they record it and release it.
Oh my God.
So it literally just came in about a month ago. So
good thing
you
I
should
work
check
at
that out.
Public Library.
Yeah,
You'll have to
get
grab
it from the
I'll have to
library.
grab that.
Yeah.
And then of course I was looking around for where I can watch Broadway shows if I don't go. And there's like a channel. It's called Broadway Up.
Oh.
I don't know. I think it's probably a channel you have to buy from Amazon.
Yeah, they don't do that enough.
That's what I was looking for. I was like, where can I now watch some of her old shows that she's been in? Because now that I can't see them, like, what do I do now to see them?
I know.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll figure
It's-
that out. That's for another episode.
That's for another episode.
Okay. But anyway,
Well, that's
Younger is
stuff for,
Younger
for-
is hilarious. It really is so funny because you're going through these mishaps with her, and they're heartwarming, and they crack me up. So I think she's great. I think anyone, young or old, would really enjoy this show. And I think you should watch it, Alex.
All right.
If your wife likes it,
Yeah.
then I think you would like it
Okay.
too. Definitely. Yeah.
One of my favorite, like all-time favorite comedy shows is Veep on HBO. Do either of you watch that?
No.
It's with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She plays the vice president, and
I'm sure I would love it.
I
These are
probably
things
would
I would
too,
probably go
yeah.
back now and watch now.
Yeah.
I still go back and watch like a season here and there.
Okay.
Like every season's kind of like a standalone story, so you can kind of just jump around. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna try season 4 now.
Yeah.
I think it's like 7, maybe 8 seasons.
Was that also what? That was also like an HBO thing, right? Was that a?
It's an HBO
It's
show.
an HBO.
Yeah.
Okay, comedy. Okay.
So it's very hard R.
That's what I thought.
But
Same with
it's one of those
the-
ensemble cast shows, kind of like The Office, where like there's like 10 characters that kind of bounces around between.
Yeah.
All of them are hilarious, and I love politics too. So like just to get like that crossover into politics where they're just making fun of politics the whole time, it just has me rolling. Like I've seen every episode probably 10 times, and I'm still laughing. Just the put downs they have, the writing. How creative the writing is for how they put down each other, like the insults they come up with, is worth it alone. Like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I think I would like it. I do. That is one of the ones where it's like I want to watch it because I love her.
Yeah.
So I gotta move that
She's
up on
brilliant.
my
And
list.
she's won like every
Lots of
Emmy,
awards,
tons
right,
of
for that,
Emmys for this show.
yeah.
Well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
And Abbott Elementary.
Yeah, Abbott
Marianne
Elementary.
Just started.
I just started.
And she's actually already you're already caught up, right?
I haven't watched season 3 yet,
Okay.
which they just started. But Melissa would always talk about it.
Mm-hmm. I just love the
finally,
characters.
I was like, let me get into a recent show because I don't watch that much of the recent stuff, especially comedies. I keep rewatching all my old favorites
all the time.
So it was nice to watch Abbott Elementary because it has that like old school feel of like an actual like half-hour comedy. And it is something that everybody could watch and enjoy. And have you watched it, Alex?
I watched season 1 and I think most of season 2.
Oh, okay.
I really, really liked it, and I don't remember why I stopped.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those shows I was watching with my wife, and then we had another kid, and like schedules just went out the window. Yeah, ran out of time.
Yeah, so I have to watch season 3. Which
Yeah,
I'm
the
looking
writing
forward
is
to.
hilarious.
It's just so they're so funny. They have such everybody. There's not one bad actor in there. They all have such good comedic timing.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Yeah, and their chemistry with each other, everything just rolls. Everything is just, it's such a good show. So that's my favorite comedy right now.
Yeah, I
love
think that's mine too.
anything that is mockumentary style.
Yeah.
I will watch. Like that is
When they look deadpan at the camera and go, you know.
Yeah, you know, when I first started, like the first couple episodes, I was kind of like, I don't know. I feel like they're trying too hard to be like The Office. But after like 3 or 4 episodes, it just like really got its groove. And
the
it
creator, Quinta Brunson, her Janine, who
Mhm.
plays the main, character.
Mhm.
Well, can I even say main? She's a creator, but I feel like they focus on every character.
yeah,
She's
but I think
just
she is the main one.
She's just so cute and she's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Her comedy is amazing.
She is.
And she was really, like, before she was in this, she was very much like you would see her online. She would do like memes, little short videos and stuff for like BuzzFeed and stuff like that. She also has a book out called What Do You Meme?
Oh, that's her?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So she's been around in the comedy world before. So I remember when Abbott Elementary came out, and I remember I was like, "That's the meme girl."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god!" Like
I'm glad
we've
she got
seen
a
her
break.
coming
Yeah.
up, like into the comedy world, and being with ABC, I feel like she's with a great network, and it's already been renewed for a 4th season.
Oh, good.
So there's a lot more to come. Even just this past episode that we watched, me and Sean were talking about
Okay.
it, and I hilarious. I was
Really?
My husband always makes fun of me because I bark out a laugh, like I'm always like ha, and then I have like a ha 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 after. I had that bark like 20 times during the whole episode because there's so many good jokes and puns and facial expressions and even like the kids that they have, like these kid actors, the way they have them act, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it all around. And Janelle James, who plays the principal,
Oh my God, she's
she
hilarious.
is comic gold.
Yeah, she really is.
Oh my goodness.
She is so good.
So please, if you haven't watched Abbott Elementary,
And it's out on DVD. You can get it from the library.
yes, you
If
can.
you don't
You
have
can get it from the
Hulu.
library. No need spending money and buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, Great stuff. Lots of award winners on that this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Too. So that was really good.
Yeah, I
was
haven't met
happy to
anyone
see
that doesn't like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
how could they not?
Going back to like your sense of humor not changing like over the years, I grew up loving the Christopher Guest movies like Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, all those mockumentaries. I still to this day think they are the funniest things ever recorded. But I actually discovered another one recently. It's called Real Life by Albert Brooks.
Oh, okay.
It's another mockumentary style, but this one was made in '79, which is like before those movies were even made. So
Really?
it's rare for me to discover a new mockumentary movie, let alone a good one. And I highly recommend this one as well. So
First mockumentary that
it might. Well, this one in Spinal Tap came out, I think, right around the same time. So it's like neck and neck. But if you like Spinal Tap and Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, all of those great documentaries,
Albert Brooks is so fun.
this one's worth checking out too.
So, yeah, definitely.
It's like a mockumentary about making a reality show.
Oh,
So it's really, and it's way ahead of its time. Like this is in the 70s we're talking about. So it's really, really cool.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, Albert Brooks is good stuff.
Yeah. All right. I think, is that it for our recommendations? Should we go to a quick break and come back with a little segment? I'm sure we got some more things we can mention when we come
let's
back.
do it.
Okay, let's take a quick break. All right, we are back. So before the episode, we started recording. I asked both of you to take a little bit of a little quiz that I found online. So this quiz was developed by a psychologist named Rod Martin from the University of Western Ontario, and he was researching whether or not it's possible to change your physical and mental health based on your sense of humor. In other words, is laughter truly the best medicine? So he developed the little questionnaire quiz, and it will basically break down not your sense of humor, basically, or how you use humor in your daily life, and whether or not that's beneficial to you or not. So he breaks it down into 4 main styles, which I'll get into in a second, but I'm curious, what do you want to share the results of your test?
Sure. Mine was, it says I have mostly an affiliative sense of humor. Is that how you say it?
Affiliative, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I got too.
I also got that.
Okay.
All right, so we're all affiliative. So affiliative senses of humor mean you're good at cracking jokes and trading banter to build connections with other people. That's the description that I got, which is perfect for a podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll let the listeners be a judge of whether or not
Yeah,
that's working
if that's
or not.
what we are.
Affiliative.
So affiliative is one of the 4 main styles, and affiliative basically is you use humor to bring people together. Another style is called self-enhancing, which is an optimistic sense of humor, and it's also used for coping. And basically, you can laugh at yourself or a situation to make yourself feel better. That's self-enhancing. The next one is self-defeating, which is an attempt to get others to like us by putting ourselves down. So it's self-deprecating humor. That's self-defeating. And then the last style is aggressive humor. This is sarcasm, teasing, criticism, ridicule, putting others down to make you feel better, or putting others down to cover up your own discomfort.
That is very aggressive.
That's aggressive humor. So those are the 4 main styles. Now, we're all affiliative here.
All of
so
us, yes.
we don't have, we're not covering the entire spectrum here.
Right.
So I was wondering if we could I thought it would be a fun exercise to sort of prescribe to our listeners, based on what sense of style you are, maybe a good book or a show or something that you might enjoy. And I'll put a link to the quiz in the show notes. So listeners, you can do the quiz yourself. It's very short. I think it's like 40.
Yeah, it was really fast.
Really, really quick questions.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can let us know how we do.
Yeah.
So since we're all affiliative, let's just start there. So again, this is a sense of humor to bring people together. It involves cracking jokes, engaging in banter, and using humor to get people to like us. So I asked Google Gemini, an artificial intelligence, to give me a recommendation. Okay. And the recommendation that it gave is 3 Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. Have either of you read it?
No.
No.
I think this is a perfect recommendation. It nailed it on this
Write
one.
it down.
It's about three friends on a boating trip along the Thames River in England, and most of the book is just them bantering, cracking jokes, and just getting into mischief.
Okay.
So that's very affiliative sense of humor, a lot of just vibing together.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a great recommendation. Can you either of you think of any other, like, anything that comes to mind?
Wow,
I know, it's tough.
Ooh.
Another one that came
I'm
was...
Googling right now.
Another one that came to mind is Yes Please, the memoir by Amy Poehler. And
Read it.
Amy Poehler is, she made her, I mean, she got famous from SNL, but she...
Parks and Rec too, right?
In Parks and Rec,
Okay.
yes.
I
But
read one of hers. I don't remember which one it was. Is that her only one?
I think it's her only
Then
book.
I must have a long time ago.
But she made her fame, or she got started in doing improv comedy. And
Okay.
improv comics, I think you kind of have to have some affiliative sense of humor because it's all about bouncing off one another and having like a repertoire and inside jokes and stuff like that. So I think that was a good recommendation as well.
Okay.
Another one that just came to mind, maybe Schitt's Creek. If you like Schitt's Creek,
Oh, I mean, yes. I
it's
know
like
I've
a very
talked about
cozy,
that before,
maybe like Ted
yeah.
Lasso too, kind of like a
Yes.
cozy ensemble sort of show.
Yeah.
Although they do kind of do some self-deprecating stuff
It's
too.
very, Dan Levy is very self-deprecating, but I love that show. That's one
So
I
then maybe
recommend
that
to
would be more
everyone.
self-defeating.
Yeah.
If anything, so do you want to jump to that one and we'll come back?
Yeah. I don't know. Any book recommendations according to...
We didn't do any prep for this
No,
segment,
I didn't
so
do
know
any
it's-
prep, so, I'm panicking in the inside.
So one book, so I was actually looking it up, and one of the ones that's been on my list forever, but this came up as affiliative humor, was Excuse Me While I Disappear, Tales of Midlife Mayhem
I
by
haven't read that.
Lori Notaro. That one has been on my list for a while, and it has really great reviews. There's a picture of a T-Rex holding a bunch of balloons and a purse on the front with like pink glasses. It's actually, let's see. All right, midlife crisis book, yeah. Basically stories of what's been going on in her life. So that one came up as a recommendation for affiliative humor, which now I really want to listen to it.
All right, so...
But go ahead.
Yeah, so let's move on to self-defeating, since we already mentioned that. So self-defeating, again, is self-deprecating, putting yourself down to make others like you, basically. So I asked Google Gemini again, and they came up with, or it came up with, Bridget Jones' Diary
Oh,
by Helen Fielding.
gosh, I read that so long ago.
Yeah, but that kind of makes sense. I mean, she's very self-deprecating.
Yeah, she is.
She's, like, reminiscing about her misadventures in love, and she's like very concerned with her weight, so she's always like putting herself down and fashion and everything like that. So I thought that was pretty good.
Oh, you know what now? Okay, so that reminds me of, because that is a really good book. Around that time, the Shopaholic books came out, and I feel like it's Sophie Kinsella, and those are very funny books, and a lot of it is self-deprecating because she's got a shopping addiction. She puts herself down a lot.
And she uses that to make herself feel
And
better,
she does
right?
use that to make herself feel better. And those are really good books.
Nice. Another one that I came up with is The Martian by Andy Weir, that was made into a very famous movie.
Yeah, I never
with,
read it, but
Matt
I did
Damon.
I
love
never
the
read
film.
it, yeah.
It is a lot funnier than I thought it would be for a
Yes.
science fiction.
I didn't think it was
like
funny
hard
at all,
sci-fi.
so I'm surprised to hear. I didn't read it, so I'm just saying I didn't know that this was like
It
a
is
funny
so-
book.
Yeah.
It's sort of written in like a journal kind of style where it's
okay.
mostly because he's alone on this
He's
on Mars,
alone.
Okay.
and he's kind of just has to make entertainment for himself, and he's kind of just figuring out how to survive on his own. So he's a lot of like putting himself down because he's like trying to figure this out. A lot of like
I remember laughing out loud multiple times watching that movie.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
was the movie
The movie was good.
humorous?
Yeah, it's
okay.
humorous. It's it's a scary
never
story because
got
he's
that
in a
impression.
situation
Okay.
that's.
Uh-huh.
but he uses
But
that
he
as like a
uses
coping
that,
mechanism.
yeah, he
Okay.
has to because if not, he's going to go mad up there if he doesn't.
Right.
He has to basically. He's a one-man show up in Mars by himself, and he has to survive.
Exactly.
There was a book called
Doesn't
The
have
End.
to be books.
It was actually The End of the World Running Club, and it is a book. And the man actually, the world is falling apart. It's coming to an end. And he's kind of like, this main character is kind of like, yeah, woe is me. My life isn't the best. I'm kind of overweight, blah, blah, blah. And I think his wife is overseas, maybe, or in another place far, far away. The world starts ending. He needs to get to her. So it's him starting his journey across the country while the world is falling apart. And he meets these characters along the way that become part of his running club. Mm-hmm. And it's like this banter between these men. This man would never have been friends with these kind of guys in real life. It's like the really macho guy and then the smart guy. And they all go on this journey together. And they almost make him better. Like, he's very down on himself. My wife doesn't love me, blah, blah, blah. And makes jokes on his own behalf. But during his journey, it's almost like he becomes a better person. And he starts losing weight. And he starts feeling better about himself. And he actually gets really good at running. And it was actually an uplifting book, humor book, self-deprecating. It kind of had a little bit of everything. The author is Adrian J. Walker. He's from the UK. And I loved this book so much. Please read it.
It's the list.
The End of the World Running Club.
I thought of a series of movies that would be great for affiliative humor.
Ooh, okay.
And it makes sense because I'm affiliative and I love these movies. Have you seen any of the Trip movies?
Oh, which ones?
Any
like
of them?
Euro Trip or?
No.
Which trips are we talking about?
Well, the first one is called The Trip.
Oh, The Trip. Oh,
And then
no,
the
haven't
second
seen
one
it.
is the trip to Italy, and then they do a trip to Greece, and then they do a trip to
These are movies?
something. Yeah, they're all movies.
Oh, I never heard of them.
They all star Steve Coogan, the British actor, and his cohort. Why am I forgetting his name?
Here you go, Rob Brydon.
Rob Brydon. Thank you. Anyways, it's
Okay, yes, I've never seen it, but I should see it.
so it's sort of like a mockumentary. It's not a mockumentary, but it's like a meta sort of movie where they're playing themselves in the movie, and they're tasked with writing a travel guide. Basically, the first one is England, where they do a tour of like the English countryside, stopping at all these restaurants, and they have to write like a review of all the restaurants. Mm-hmm. They're both comedic actors, and that's like the premise for the movie. But basically, it's just an excuse for them to just make fun of one another. Like the whole movie is just basically them sitting in restaurants and just the banter they would have while they're out to dinner, and they're both hilarious. They're making fun of each other. They both do impressions, like hilarious impressions. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Like, I laugh out loud.
Which one was this?
The Trip.
Oh, just the first one.
The Trip. And then they do it again. They do the same thing, but in Italy. Like, they do a tour of Italy. Okay. It's the same premise. They're just at beautiful restaurants eating 5-star, like Michelin-rated restaurants, but they're just making fun of each other the whole time. Okay. And then they do Rome, and I forget where the other one is. There's 4 of them. I want to say Greece, Rome, and Italy. No, Greece, Italy. Yeah, Rome is Italy. What am I thinking of? I can't remember what the last one is.
One is England, the one is Italy.
Yeah. They're all great, and if you have the Canopy app from the library, all of them are on Canopy.
Okay.
We love Canopy.
I love
That'll
plugging
be a great
Canopy.
Use of Canopy, yeah. I'm gonna have to look at that.
I watched Cats and Dogs not too long ago on Canopy, so.
Oh wow! No, that's an old
Canopy's
one.
got
Yeah.
everything.
I'm telling
They
you.
really
I was
did.
like, ooh, Cats and Dogs. I love this one. And I cast it to my
Oh my
television.
gosh, that's so funny.
Like, what are you onto? I'm like, Cats and Dogs.
I love Canopy.
Cats.
I love Canopy. Not Cats and Dogs.
I love Cats and Dogs. It's so good.
I don't use Canopy enough, so.
I know, I don't either, but every now and then I'm like, I want to watch this, and I have to remember.
I'm going to do an episode on Canopy where I give recommendations. Because
Oh yeah,
You should.
definitely.
You should, because
it's insane how much they have on there.
And not enough people know about like what they're missing on it.
Your
Yeah.
library card. You very well can watch these movies. for
Right.
free.
Right.
And all you got to do is use that little smart view on your phone.
Yeah.
Cast it right to your television.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Love it. I love
I'll have
it.
to do that. Okay, so I have another book. I have a book recommendation that Melissa definitely read these, and I feel like Alex, you might have. I feel like everybody was putting them on their Goodreads a year ago. And it's 2 books by Amber Ruffin and her sister Lacey. Right, her sister Lacey. And I don't remember which one came first. I think it's the World's Record Book of Racist Stories, and then the second one was You'll Never Believe What Happened to Lacey. I think I have that backwards.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
You'll Never Believe is
the first one. And that's Crazy Stories About Racism. So they talk all about like experiences that they've had growing up, and the racist things they have encountered, microaggressions, but they do it with such a humorous spin.
Yeah.
And again, listen to it. This is one of those ones you want to listen to so you can hear them. They're so funny when they tell these stories. They are hilarious.
So Lacey lives still in where does she live?
I feel like one of them's in the Midwest.
Yeah, that where they grew up.
Mhm.
And Amber lives in New York City because she has her own late night, and so it's Lacey always calling Amber and saying, "You'll never guess what happened to me today."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they collected all these stories
Mhm.
and made a book out of it, which is
Yeah.
hilariously sad, but
Yes.
but it's so funny. It's so funny.
And it's
Amber
very-
is great.
Very eye-opening, you know, so like you're learning while you're like laughing. And I mean, you won't believe a lot of the things that Lacey experiences, even like at her workplace.
Yeah.
And
In
it's just like
2024.
in 2024,
23,
these 20, yeah, it's right. It's mind blowing, but they do it, and you're gonna laugh. You're gonna be like,
You
I
might tear up
I
laughing 'cause
cannot
it's so
believe
funny.
this, but you're
Yeah.
laughing, yeah.
And even
So
just
they're
the
great.
way, like the way the sisters are with each other and their banter.
Yeah, their banter.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny the way they are with each other. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Highly
definitely-
recommend those.
Highly recommend those too.
And they're great on audiobook.
Yes,
I think that's
definitely recommend on
100%
I was
audio.
bouncing back.
But also
Yeah.
read. I would say check out the book too because then there's like pictures.
They
and stuff
include
in the
pictures.
book.
Yeah.
So it's good to see some of the things. Like they describe the pictures on the audio, but it's good to
Yeah.
see the pictures that they're referring to.
Yeah.
So you can get a laugh out of them.
We early on mentioned the Colin Jost book because that was the last funny book that I read.
A very punchable
listened to
face.
A very punchable face.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's
yeah,
the title?
so yes, growing up, people always told him that he had a very punchable face.
Oh my
face.
God.
And it's like, you know what? When you look at him, I'm like, actually, he does
Kinda
kind of have
does,
a very punchable face. But his stories are so funny.
Into the mic.
I can punch him.
Not that you sneak away and get in his side.
Yeah. His stories are so funny, but I listened to it. He includes a lot of pictures. So I did, after I finished it, I grabbed our copy of the book so I could flip through it and look through all the pictures. He's very self-deprecating growing up. He was like this awkward kid. So he includes a lot of awkward pictures of himself. He's got this one hilarious story called Eggs in My Legs where he goes to Nicaragua. I can never say it.
Nicaragua?
Yes, I can never say that name. And he gets bit by something, and he just kind of ignores it, and then when he comes back home, his mom's a doctor, so he sends a picture of it to his mom, and she says it might be MRSA, but he sees like some specialists, and it turns out that he had like something plant eggs in him.
Oh.
So he had eggs. He includes the picture
Oh,
of it.
no.
Everything's black and white though, so you can't.
Okay.
But so he tells the story about how he took care of it and everything. But it's so funny the way he tells the story. It's so funny. And a side note is that his mom. Did you listen? Did you read it?
I did,
Alex?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
when it came
his
out,
mom is like was one of the top doctors in the FDNY. Like medical chief officers in the FDNY. So and my brother is FDNY, so he's met her. One of my friends, she's from Staten Island, which is where they're from, and that was her childhood doctor. It was Colin
my
Jost's
gosh.
mother. Yeah, and she was there for like 9/11, so he writes a whole chapter on his mom and 9/11, and it is like such a beautiful story that will bring tears to your eyes. And then the rest is all funny. But he does still slip in some like jokes, which work because it's funny.
Yeah.
But that's one where you do need the hard copy.
His book is the closest to the excellence of Tina Fey's Bossy Pants, I think, of any book I've read.
I agree with that. I agree that they are very close in how hilarious they are. And I was surprised. I love him. I think he's hilarious. But I wasn't expecting his book to be that good.
No.
So I was really surprised.
He does the news.
He's the head writer at Saturday Night Live, and he has been for a long time.
Does Weekend Update,
He
right?
does
That's
the
where his
Weekend
face.
with Michael Che.
Because sometimes I'll just watch like that clip like on YouTube the next day because I always think it's so funny.
Yeah, sometimes the news is the only funny part of Saturday Night Live, depending on who's hosting. And he and Michael Che are hilarious together. Like they work really well together.
Oh.
So now Michael Che needs to write a book.
Too, so that's...
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered affiliative, we've covered self-defeating. Let's quickly go through the last two categories. The next one is self-enhancing, which is an optimistic coping humor. You laugh at yourself or a situation to feel better.
I got that one too. That was one of my results.
The ones I came up with, or I couldn't come up with any for this actually, but what the internet suggested to me was Candide by Voltaire. A young man experiences a series of misfortunes by maintaining an optimistic outlook through humor. And then it also suggested Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan and Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Haven't read any of those.
Midnight Library was just okay in my opinion.
Okay. Scratch that one then.
Yeah. It was good, and I see why people loved it, but it was just all right for me.
All right, let's move on. That was a tough category. And then the last one is aggressive humor. You're laughing at others, putting others down through sarcasm, teasing, criticism, or ridicule. I think this category, although I don't think anybody wants to think of themselves as an aggressive humor style, but I'm willing to bet at least a quarter of the population is this style.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say anything like dark comedy would work really well. And a book recommendation I would have is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. It's a dark comedy set during World War II, and it's kind of about this absurdities of war. It's about these soldiers who are trying to get out of service by trying to they're trying to commit themselves to be considered insane so they get discharged. So that part of it is kind of funny, the way they're trying to go about it, but it's all set in World War II. So that's a dark background, and then the characters are all very aggressive with their humor against one another. They're putting each other down constantly in that stuff too. So I would recommend that. Any kind of dark comedy really I think would work really well.
So I'm looking that up. Best dark humor, and Running with Scissors comes up by Augustin Burroughs, which I did read a long time ago. Did you ever read that? Okay, so that was a good book. I could see that. One that came up was American Psycho.
Oh.
Which by Bret Easton Ellis, which is very dark. Yeah. But also it does throw in some humor.
Definitely does.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I never read that, but that's coming up for dark humor.
I was going to mention that as one of my fiction books that I enjoyed that is humorous. I don't know where the aggressive part of it comes in, but maybe with sarcasm.
Yeah, maybe.
I just listened to an audiobook. It was that rom-com Mistakes Were Made. So there was a older, younger romance and the comedy that ensues with it. And one of the main characters did use aggressive humor sometimes to herself and others, but I think it was like a protective thing, right? She uses it as a wall almost, not to let people in. And that was her character in this book. She obviously softens up by the end. And it was really funny. But yeah, she definitely used that because she had, she grew up with a rough family. So I think she always used that aggressive humor as her guard, as her armor.
Yeah.
But that was actually a really good book by Merrill Wilsner. Hold on, let me make sure I got that right before.
So that suggestion actually just made me think of one for self-enhancing, if I can go back.
Okay, good.
So,
we'll allow it.
I was thinking Woody Allen movies would be a good category for that, because Woody Allen's whole shtick is he makes fun of himself.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
To cope with his stress and everything too.
Mistakes Were Made. The author was Merrill Wilsner. I believe it's her second book or something, but it is a queer lesbian romance. College age, older woman, younger college girl. It was hilarious. Mm-hmm. And the younger girl, she definitely uses humor as a way, aggressive humor as a way to protect herself from certain situations. Yeah. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I don't always do romantic comedy. It must have came up in a weird recommendation, and I said, well, that sounds good, and I just downloaded it, and I went with it. And I enjoyed it highly.
Two other aggressive comedic suggestions that just came to me. Anything stand-up, really. I think kind of stand-up, I think, by nature is kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
And then I also thought of Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld to a degree.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anything where, like, its comedy is, like,
totally.
observing quote-unquote weirdos and, you know, criticizing them.
They could be very mean.
Yeah.
Characters.
Yeah, mean to each other.
Mean to each other, mean to strangers.
I'm watching
and it's funny.
the current season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I'm
Think
talk about shows that are making me laugh out loud. It's
think
still
about Elaine and how she treated George all the time.
Yeah.
She really could not stand him, even when they were
always
breakfast.
teasing him.
Veep again just came to mind again. My favorite show.
Yeah.
I mean, they're constantly attacking each other.
That's so funny. Also, Scrubs. I loved Scrubs, and Dr. Cox was always so aggressive to John Dorian, to JT, and Turk. Like, he would always use this aggressive humor, and it would be in their face. It always made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dr. Cox was the aggressive humor doctor. Definitely. It's so funny how you think about it, and you're like, oh, wow, yeah, this character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend everybody take this quiz because it's got me thinking. Yeah, it's a little eye-opening.
You could also think. I think Modern Family as a sitcom could have some, like, who's that? The patriarch in there. Ed. What's his name?
Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill. Yeah. He's definitely a bit aggressive towards, like, his kids, especially his son.
Yes.
Like, his humor. That's another show that's really funny.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely can watch that over and over.
Yes, I'd want to start rewatching that.
Right. I think that's all we got for this episode. I have so many more notes here that I didn't even get to. We could have easily made this a two-parter.
I know. Now I'm thinking about all the things I have to read and watch. And I'm like, I gotta watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is something I never watched because I didn't have HBO for many years. And I was like, I should watch this because I feel like I'd get it.
Now you have 14 seasons to catch up on.
I just watched a clip from the most recent season about who's his best friend on the show?
Funkhauser or Michael Lewis?
The black guy, J.B. Smooth.
J.B. Smooth, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy, he hits someone's car, and then, I don't know, I guess the guy calls him because he leaves his number. What's his name? Larry David leaves his number on the guy's car, and then he calls him like, oh, you hit my car, and then he goes to the house because he's going to make him write a check. But he has J.B. Smooth answer the door anyway, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, actually, no, you don't got to pay me anything. Like, it was so funny. And he's hiding in the other room, like, and he's like, I can't believe that works. And it was just so funny that he had his black friend answer the door, and he was like, oh, no, actually, I'll just pay for this myself.
Yeah.
Writes a check to himself. Like,
the show is always hilarious, but once J.B. Smooth becomes a permanent cast character, it takes it to another level. And you can tell it's just like Larry David is just like, this opens up a whole new, like, arena of comedy to me.
Yeah,
and
I thought so.
there is not there's hardly an episode that goes by where J.B. Smooth doesn't have a hilarious line or bit.
Okay, see,
it practically becomes
funny.
his show at some point.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I guess I'll have to slowly watch 14 seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, I want to watch it too. Yeah.
All right, so let's get started.
Yeah.
We only have 15
We'll have
seasons.
lots to talk about.
And because that's also like a quick 20, 30 minute.
Yep.
thing.
Yeah,
So if
and
I'm
they're
watching
all
it-
available at CFO Library on DVD.
Perfect. We'll be fighting for it,
Sweet.
Melissa.
I like that. See, I like a nice half-hour sitcom.
Yeah.
I can just go through it. Boom, boom, boom. We love it. All right.
All right, Marianne, Melissa, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for
you,
having
Alice.
And
us.
hope you have a happy
fun.
humor month.
Yes.
Yeah, I sure will. I think I'm going to get into some of these.
You'll be laughing all the way through the month now with all
Really
these
will.
recommendations.
With all these suggestions, yeah.
Been in a boat.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.